My husband is a human gas chamber. So, about 3 weeks ago I flew to South Korea for a vacation with friends who live there. My husband didn't want to go and said he'd be fine staying home and watching the house and dog. I trusted him because he's a 40-year-old adult man and assumed he'd be able to feed himself like a sane person despite him possessing the cooking ability of a cactus. I was wrong. I should have dragged him and the dog along with me to another country. What my husband decided to do during his 3 weeks without me was absurd. I would have been happier if he'd cheated on me instead. Because what he did was order nothing but Taco Bell through DoorDash after he somehow broke my stove by cooking an entire 15-pound bag of red lentils all at once. Then he didn't bother to get a bowl for his lentils, he just ate them straight from the pot and stuffed the pot into the fridge and broke one of the shelves inside it. Now realizing his mistake, he decided to order nothing but terrible tacos for the remaining 2 weeks while getting high on medical marijuana. Also, for some reason, he bought a bunch of honeycombs from one of our friend's fathers and decided those made a good snack and has eaten nothing but beeswax and honey for the last few days because he's some kind of weird alien in a human disguise. Apparently honeycombs give you gas. And lentils give you gas. And Taco Bell gives you gas. So now it's today and I'm awoken by what sounds like someone revving a motorcycle in my bedroom, followed by the stench of the fiery pits of hell itself. It's 5:30 in the morning. He gets up and goes to use the toilet as I'm opening the windows in a poor attempt to ventilate the house, but it's too late. He doesn't even have a solid poop, it's just 10 minutes of gas. Like 20 seconds of non-stop farts followed by a huge gasp of air and then another 20 seconds of gas. By this time, the dog has hidden under my couch because it doesn't know what those loud honking noises are and fears for its safety. I consider joining it, but continue to open every window in my house. It's 62 degrees out and windy. The wind just blows the fart smell around the house. My husband has left the bathroom and has walked upstairs. It sounds like there's a small 2-stroke engine in his pants. I can't take it anymore and scream that I'm going to get breakfast at the diner and leave him. I bring the dog with me because the dog follows me out of the house because it also doesn't want to be here right now. So now I'm at the diner waiting for my husband to degas himself while the dog sits underneath the table next to me wearing a pink leash kid harness that my friends bought for *me as a gag gift that has my name and emotional support human on it that the waitress thought was some kind of in-joke. This is the start of my morning. I hope it's not as stinky as yours. Update: it's 9 o'clock and my husband texted me to tell me to rent a carpet cleaner from the Dollar General because he trusted a fart and shat all over the living room floor. It's gonna be one of those days. Oh baby, you just gotta go to another state and start a new life at this point. I know I shouldn't laugh, but rolling on the floor laughing, 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 rolling on the floor laughing. Bruh. He's 40. Tears of joy loudly crying, tears of joy loudly crying, tears of joy loudly crying, tears of joy loudly crying. And everyone trusts the fart sometimes in real life. You're really going to believe this post? This is clearly a joke post even by Reddit standards. Actually, you started it. The comment in which I replied started with, "You're really going to believe this post?" Now, forgive me, but your statement clearly seemed to be insulting, as in you were questioning the poster's intelligence to not be able to tell the difference between truth or comedy and/or the inability to take it at face value as a joke. So, maybe I'm wrong, and if I am I do apologize, but it's how it came across to me. Perhaps you can be more cognizant of what you put out there and how it can come across to other people. Perhaps you can be more cognizant of what you put out there in response to others. Nothing I said was unreasonable, and yet you moved quickly to insult my personality. I'm not going to be lectured on how I interact online by someone that can't talk without polemics like, "You ruined my enjoyment of the post," and "Hope you have the day you deserve." Both of which are hypocritical considering you're accusing me of being miserable. You started it. Really? Very childish. Oh, and I'm the childish one? I was simply stating that you were the one who insulted first. How about your inability to comprehend that I apologized to you, stating if I was wrong, then I was sorry? Did you miss that or just chose to ignore it? So you had rather be a child than say yes, you, as in I, because I feel I need to explain this level of communication, were wrong. But hey, whatever. Have fun with your day. I didn't insult first. Saying a post is clearly a joke post is just a fact, not directed at anyone in particular. But infer what you want from it, you're clearly just out to argue with someone face with rolling eyes. This subreddit is literally called Stories, so what if it's a joke post? I was chuckling reading it in bed, enjoyed it so much that I made the effort to get off the bed, went out to the living room and shared it with my partner, which we both had a good laugh together. At least we had fun, unlike you, tears of joy. I think you misunderstood my point. I'm not at all saying the post is unenjoyable, I'm talking specifically about the few commenters that took it at face value and said some pretty vitriolic things in response. Of course, this is Reddit though, and you get branded as miserable and words totally twisted for calling those few out. I did misunderstand your point, I was confused as heck, so let me apologize. All I did was reading this post and had fun, and left a comment a few hours ago before moving on to other posts on my timeline. I didn't spend time reading every single comment, so I didn't see any of those that you mentioned earlier. Which at the same time, you can't stop people from taking stories too seriously in a bad way, so why bother? Just ignore them, Sue, Very true, it was my mistake to respond to your comment specifically rather than one of the properly vitriolic, sexist ones, which would have made my point clearer, but it is what it is now. I appreciate being able to talk it out properly, in stark contrast with some other responses I've received tears of joy. Seriously, this comment totally ruined the enjoyment of this whole post. How about you pop a chill pill and let people enjoy the comedy? This subreddit is called Stories. Not the absolute truth. Go get some sunlight and caffeine or beer or something and get off your high horse and let people laugh. If my one comment ruined the enjoyment of the post, then I think it's you that needs to pop a chill pill. There are some awful sexist comments here from people that take these things too seriously. My comment was in response to those, primarily. Nothing wrong with comedy. I bet you are so much fun to be around. I bet you can pull the cork out of the joy of everyone's balloon at one time. It must be a curse to be so morose. I hope you have the day you deserve. Reflect on the bullshit you wrote here, loudly crying. I think you need to take a look at yourself. You're the only one throwing insults around here. It's clearly a joke post as always, and yes, Redditors believe absolutely everything, no questions asked, as always. So what if it's a joke post? Which is precisely the point. There are some very charged, sexist comments within the comment section from people that have taken it too seriously. Destroyed kitchen. Eats garbage. Finds honeycomb. Rolls around in stench. I'm pretty sure you married a bear. She chose the bear. Edit, an award? Okay, thanks, I'll take it. She shouldn't have fed the bears, gotta keep the picnic basket locked up. Man, I feel like I'm a trophy husband after reading this lol. Great story op. I'm crying with laughter here. Maybe final update before I go to sleep. My husband can actually take care of himself, he just can't cook even though he says he can, and his family thinks cooking is using the magical microwave box for everything that's not toast. My husband has tried to make toast in the microwave, but obviously that didn't work. He also wasn't like this when we met, he was just a normal, awkward, nerdy guy from a kinda poor family. He did take out the trash, do the laundry, feed the dog his special dog food Beckow. Say my dog is diabetic, mow the lawn and buy some groceries. Unfortunately, he blew some fuse trying to use the Keurig, toaster oven, and microwave all at the same time and gave up on trying to zap food for himself and resigned to using DoorDash and Uber Eats for everything after he also broke my stove. I think the beeswax is what did him in because he said he was fine until he ate like 7 honeycombs in a row. 7? 7 honeycombs in a row? He literally waxed his insides. He can't cook, so he feeds himself a ludicrous diet? I don't but it. Just because he can't cook doesn't mean he can't understand that he needs a balanced diet. There are instant meals, prepared meals. He could have ordered from decent restaurants. Who can't make a fucking sandwich or bowl of granola and yogurt? Your husband is a complete fucking idiot. I know, but he's my idiot. Every village has at least one. I think you need a Xanax, brother. Have you written any novels or screenplays? Books of short stories? Because I would like to read them immediately. Hands clapping. I second this. Good storyteller for sure. It's so strange how women are just okay being with these incompetent partners. If I had a girlfriend who couldn't figure out basic life skills like cooking and putting away leftovers, I would break up with her immediately, cause like, at least try to be an adult? Some men just return to feral animal form without women. Mostly true, but some of us are completely capable of being normal adults without some sort of supervision. It's always crazy to me how grown-ass men can't even do basic things like cook, clean and keep up with basic hygiene. It's not that we cannot, it's just that when the opportunity presents itself you take it. Admittedly, 3 weeks is a bit much, usually 1 day or 2 and then time to clean up and live normally. Man was hungry for some beans. The wind just blows the fart smell around the house, skull rolling on the floor laughing pure poetry. Her, he's probably cheating on me right now. Him, I wonder how many lentils I need to survive 3 weeks. Makes me think of the time I told my husband that the average person farts 20 times per day. I then had to hear him calling out numbers all day. 13. 14. Rectum? Damn near killed him. I woke my wife up with shake laughing by 5:30. When I started to read her the story and said, it was filed under vent, she said, sounds like he needs one. We haven't laughed this hard in a while, and making each other laugh is so important, it's in our wedding vows. I know you're suffering, but this story has me dying laughing. I almost farted reading this, but then felt guilt so didn't. Tears of joy. Deleted. I hope he's hot AF, spectacular in bed, and good with fixing shit around the house because other than that, damn. https://preview.rev.it/u4xs71.jpeg?width=586 and format =pjpg and auto =webp and s @55b2c9dfa61404b86747 bec7b9e6e61004d2f. I'm going to cook once and save money by eating 15 pounds of lentils for these 3 weeks. I've been defeated by the lentils, my only choice is Taco Bell. I have angered the gas gods, my wife's fate is sealed and will pay dearly for leaving me. Lol. Was he dropped on his head as a child? Has he ever made a sandwich or boiled water or made scrambled eggs or a frozen pizza? Does he know where the grocery store is? Sure, weed can make you do dumb things, but maybe he's just a moron. Thank you for writing the most well-written, hilarious Reddit post I have encountered this week. Your husband sounds like a cool dude. I would totally hang out to smoke weed and eat tacos with him. Every guy reading this, hell yeah, brother, sounds like a good time. That was absolutely hilarious, Red. Have you considered being a comedian? You have talent for it. Lol. Well written and very engaging. 5 stars. Looking forward to the sequel where you take him to Germany for the next holiday where he consumes only beer and sauerkraut. You can really paint a picture with words. The fart bit is funny, but seriously, does he have special educational needs? Because he broke your stove and fridge and made a completely mad amount of lentils for some odd reason. Even my 12-year-old wouldn't do that. True, he might eat nothing but McDonald's for a week if I were away, but still. He's 12. Never cry laughed so much in my life. I knew it was going to be a good read when I reached Cooking Skills of a Cactus. Tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing, crying from laughter. It's 3:59 a.m. and I am shaking with laughter because of the humor, and my husband just woke up and asked, "What are you doing?" To which I respond, "Don't eat beans." I'm dying 'cause I just woke my girlfriend and she's asking what's so funny. Now I get to read this story and chuckle all over again, tears of joy. This is so funny, but if I were Op, I'd be ready to sign some divorce papers. Tears of joy. I want to say this is a little bit of weaponized incompetence, but it seems like this man just doesn't know how to take care of himself. Cause why the fuck would you eat eggs after all this? Let alone 14. Weaponized incompetence or weaponized incontinence. LMAOA+++ for the storytelling, big L for the stinky subhuman shartlord. Love how you flagged this story as venting. You venting over his venting. You know how sometimes people here say how a husband has weaponized incompetence and uses it against you? I got good news and bad news. Yours isn't weaponizing incompetence, he's actually incompetent XD. Dear God, my sides hurt from laughing so hard. Thank you for this gem of a story. Tears of joy. I fucking lost it at the motorcycle revving part. LMAOOOOO. Everyone is laughing, but men who can't cook and look after themselves are so unattractive. I guess I should be thankful for men like him for causing the bar to be so low? Like damn, I'm average looking, but every time a woman would see the inside of my car, apartment, or hear me talk about cooking or basic adult shit, they were always surprised and seemed 10x more interested in me. Dude's 40 and can't feed himself? Does he not shower, know how to change himself, and do laundry either? Edit, and seemingly breaks everything he touches. He's dumber than a fucking stone. De fuck were you thinking when you married him? As funny as this all is, lol. I can't say that I would be thrilled being married to a man-child that broke the stove, a fridge shelf, and ordered all Taco Bell via DoorDash and is now stinking out my house. The thought made me gag. Actually, he sounds like my ex, whom I left, but mostly because he's an awful person on top of breaking fridges and stoves and door dashing out of laziness. I don't want to mother my husband, or boyfriend. Sorry Op, suppose you have that to look forward to, forever? Hope he has multitudes of other redeeming qualities lol. I also have a lot of issues with acid reflux and nausea, and I'd have barfed everywhere and not returned or made him get a hotel until the smog passes. Maybe you should do that Op, but you already know it would mean more DoorDash and smog, so I suppose that's out of the question. Yeah, I don't understand. I can't cook worth shit, but I've never broken a stove or a refrigerator shelf. That just doesn't make sense to me how you can be 40 and do that. Yeah, it's just carelessness. How can you slam something down so hard you break a shelf or break a stove cooking lentils? I'd cry if I had to get a sitter for my man, or face the consequences of not babysitting him when I left. Really sounds like my ex, whom has broken fridges that remind you to close them by beeping non-stop, by leaving them open. Has also shattered glass-top stoves by slamming things down, and melted pot handles and spatulas by putting the handle directly in the flame. His mom and I talk, and she really had to have someone come watch him at 25, to ensure he didn't cost her thousands upon return, but that's also his ADHD he refuses to treat or handle. So, Yaop's husband reminds me of my ex and immediately bothered me. Sloppy, careless people bug TF out of me, especially when my 7-year-old knows not to slam stuff down so hard he breaks fridge shelves. Op's writing is hilarious. I laughed, but I also feel the undertone that her husband's a sloppy man-child who she has to parent. Man's trying to make global warming go faster. This post is lit. Be careful, there's gas. You know the real stories on Reddit because some shit you just can't make up. Morning update. So apparently you can't digest beeswax, so my husband has turned into a human shotgun that's entirely powered by gas. He says it comes in waves, so it's gas and then beeswax and then gas followed by more beeswax. I think he ate the entire beehive. Also, as hard as it is to believe, my husband can cook, but he can only cook stuff on a barbecue because he can't tell when it's done if he tries to use the stove. And the key to our barbecue cover got lost somewhere, so now I have to break the lock off or cut the cover. I'm wheezing and crying at human shotgun. My fucking sides, OMFG. Are you sure your husband isn't just 3 kids in a trenchant? No man should be this inept at so many things at once, lol. I'm pretty sure. We're both really tiny though. I'm 4 feet 7 inches and he's 5 feet 2 inches, and we've been mistaken for children. He had to grow a beard. Bless your heart. Wow, that's the definition of weaponized incompetence. I'm reasonably certain that in most states it would be illegal to be married to him. Weaponized incontinence. This story and update, although awful for you, has just made me laugh so hard I was crying. The cats were looking at me funny too, as I'm all alone with them. I'm sobbing, crying reading this. My God, you are funny. There was a study done recently that indicated that men who are in relationships are happier than single men. This is why. Start charging for your cooking. Update asterisk, it's 10:23 and I've returned home after a lovely day of walking my dog around the park, getting coffee, renting a carpet cleaner, and tuning my motorcycle to a house that smells like Febreze and Lysol. I took so long screwing around that my husband had time to harass our neighbors and borrow a spot-bought carpet cleaner that didn't clean our carpet. I gave him the instructions for the carpet cleaner I rented for stupid amount of money from the Dollar General, and I'm now locked in our bedroom. He's allowed in when the house is fixed, and he's no longer filled with more gas than the Hindenburg. So how was South Korea? Q, do you know why they don't have children's playgrounds at Taco Bell? A, because 1, it's difficult to have fun while experiencing explosive diarrhea, and 2, the decontamination costs would be astronomical. Legit laughing out loud at the detail of him randomly buying honeycombs as a snack. As you walked out, you should have told him to light a match. Not only would you have gotten the life insurance but house insurance money as well. Oh man, you are funny. Had a laughter attack reading this. Poop stories are the best. As a farter myself, I feel for your man. Hurts if I don't fart out the half-gallon of milk and half a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch all while, yes, medicinally induced self-stoning, watching House of the Dragon. Just in case there is any honeycomb left. You're not supposed to swallow the wax. Just chew the honey out and spit the wax in the trash. You should write a novel, Adventures with My Two-Stroke Husband. That might be taken the wrong way. It's not just guys. After a few days on a food-intensive Mediterranean cruise, my wife let loose a silent but deadly cloud in bed. When that eye-burning and nose-hair curling green essence emerged from beneath the covers, it woke me from a dead sleep. I dashed to the balcony door, which I flung wide, and then to the stateroom door, which I felt for heat lest I open the door to an inferno on its other side. It was about this time that I noticed her paroxysms and tears streaming down her face. It was on Lee then that I knew the world hadn't ended and that we would ultimately survive. I was not prepared to read this post. I had a hunch it was going to be about farting gas, but I did not expect such an eloquently written post. Op, are you a writer by profession? You have a finesse about your descriptive details of the bathroom situation that I can clearly picture the scene step by step. I don't have anything else to say, but I wouldn't blame you for wanting out of the relationship. I was married to a man-child once, and him cheating on me was the best thing because we divorced. And I have never been happier. I write stories for our D&D games and also questionable fanfiction. My husband's cooking skills are atrocious, but his other skills make up for that. Unfortunately, the stories where he's actually competent aren't as funny. Like the time he found a really big tree branch to use as a jack stand to fix a flat tire while we were stranded in Appalachia. Or the time we decided to go on a classic car road trip in his AMC Gremlin and randomly met some other guy with a Gremlin and ended up at Bernie. Ing man. GIF. Giphy. QAFs 20WYNWH3FA0TPJ. You're a brilliant writer. Although I have no valuable advice, I should point out that that is exactly how your husband would live without you. You add meaning to his life and make him fart less. Tears of joy. Why the fuck did he want so many lentils? Is he vegan? If so, you may want to leave now. Vegan farts never cease. Thank you so much for this. I just died in laughter. Growing up, my father was the same way. He says it's a gift, but to everyone who lived with him, it'd say curse. My father would come into a room, start a convo, and produce a quiet and ungodly aroma that lingered in your nose and made your eyes water. By the time it hits you, he's long gone and you're stuck making up your own vocab in agony. This made me cry with laughter. It's been a bad week, so thank you. Smile. SNL needs this level of comedy writing. This is awesome. Don't listen to these shitheads. If he doesn't mess around on you and can hold a conversation, who cares? This is what some of us do. FFS, a lot of us haven't matured past 8th grade. I'm an RN that works in critical care and my wife says she should have adopted me instead of marrying me. I'm childish, I make poop jokes and embarrass my teenage children in public as often as I can. Embarrassing your children in public is a right guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution, I'm pretty sure. You are a talented writer. That was really good. I am a professional fanfic writer and even made friends with a Korean dude who wrote some D&D campaigns for us. GIF. Giphy. SZD4GF32 EASTTUIINHN. Downsized. He missed an opportunity to eat Haribo gummy bears. My friend who lives in Korea sent us the Korean version of those that put both of us as well as some of our friends out of work for a week. I didn't know it was the artificial sugar in them, so I took them to work and left them in the break room. I shut down our cafe for a while. The sugar-free ones. Your husband sounds like he's the next top model for Depends or any other adult diaper. My condolences to you and your pup. That poor dog probably needs therapy after the time away from you. Also, your writing is asterisk chef's kiss. Shouldn't be giggling this hard. It really is not funny when someone is dropping gas that peels the paint off the walls, but your story has me sounding like Beavis and Butthead. I'm sure your husband has positive qualities. I'm curious what they are. Can't you read? He's a human gas chamber. I really hope you're embellishing this or making it up entirely. There's no way someone can be so useless, and if they are, they should be dumped into the wilderness. Die or learn to survive. I love being single. This sounds like a husband. I've heard of other types of responsible husbands but have never seen one. Haven't laughed so hard in a while. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. How do you cook 15 pounds of lentils at once? Holy cow. I can't breathe. I'm laughing so hard. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. Sounds like you're not the only one who can't breathe. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying right now. I need to go share this story with my husband, but I don't know if I can read it out loud to him without bursting into uncontrollable laughter. Ha! My husband came in to check on me because he could hear me cackling from the other room. Your husband and I are two peas in a pod. I can't cook for anything, and when Hubs goes out of town, I'm a junk food goblin. You can't even make this stuff up. You should really enter this in some short story contest. Whatever you do, do not light a match or a candle. My vote is on weaponized incompetence. Your husband seemed like he living the best life. This was awesome and hilarious. Feel sorry for you though and your man-child. Are you positive he is an adult? I cook plenty, but when my wife is away I've been known to eat a crappy meal. But then I feel terrible and don't even want it. How did he want more TB and honeycomb? Doesn't he feel awful? Is he aware that DoorDash also delivers food from other restaurants? That's my hang-up. Why just Taco Bell if he's willing to pay for delivery? Surely there's other more nutritional but delicious food in his area that he could have delivered instead. I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, but I also cannot stop laughing. Disgusting. I can totally see the lure of a 2-week medical marijuana-induced Taco Bell endurance run. However, I can also see the downfall and folly that this would ensure. Poor dog. #life choices. Light a match and tell the fire department there must have been a gas leak and you will miss him dearly. I'm afraid if I do that, the entire capital of PA is going to go up in a mushroom cloud slightly larger than the Tsar Bomba. The sexiest thing a woman can do for a man is to learn to love his gas. Love the gas, Meg. Love it. Peter Griffin. Stories like this make me feel like a useful member of society and an above-average human being. Thank you. OMG. I am crying laughing at this. Thank you. My uncle used to like to take us shopping, have you stand at end of an aisle while he would casually walk past, lay down a strafing run like a B-52 bomber in Vietnam. We would wait, then watch the other customers' reaction. Best one, frozen food section, pizzas. He opened the freezer door, gently laid a SBD silent but deadly. Then we watched as people opened the door, got chilled SBD and decided they did not want frozen pizza. Sugar-coat it however you want, but he's a grown man who doesn't know basic life skills, like how to feed himself, and he makes terrible health decisions, and sits around getting high. Not to mention bad hygiene, which I think this qualifies as. Horrid diet resulting in terrible body odor is a hygiene issue. Slob. My Korean friend told me he once ate an entire dinner that consisted of nothing but celery once. Why? Because he had celery and didn't want to waste it. My husband takes care of his hygiene well enough, he just can't cook. Also, shower farts are the worst. Your husband is an animal. Tears of joy. Fucking great story. Tears of joy. Tears of joy. OMG, this is too funny. I could not stop laughing. Sounds to me you are good to him and thank God it was just gas and not cheating. Hi, I divorced my husband over farts and people are asking if we are the same person and I just read your post and laughed so hard I am crying and I can't breathe. Possibly final update if I don't survive. It's 11:40. I can't hear the carpet cleaner anymore, but I can still hear the horns of Jericho as my husband continues to fart. He's smoking too, and the pot smoke and farts are leaching into the bedroom where I'm, safely locked inside. Oh yay! This might be funny at first, but does it really not bother you that you're married to someone who is so utterly incompetent? I take it he went straight from his mommy's house to his new mommy, you, and never got the chance to launch into adulthood? You should stay somewhere else until he gets his shit together. Your writing style is brilliant. Pure weaponized incompetence. The weapons including gas bombs apparently. Now that you have been trained, you won't ask him to be responsible for himself again. Every update of yours is causing me to gasp in disbelief. I hope your love holds strong because this is scraping the bottom of the barrel for what defines a civilized human. I'm always impressed that all these incompetent, disgusting men in Reddit stories are still married. I'm 42 and I would be embarrassed if my wife had to be my surrogate mommy. OMG. I laughed and laughed at this. Just there, farting, his head stuck in a jar of honey. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Poot. Hall of Fame post. Laughing randomly looking at my phone while at the park with my kids. This is gold. I was laughing like crazy reading this. Have you ever considered writing professionally? He should start taking probiotics. I am laughing out loud with tears in the middle of the airport. Great story. Your story made me laugh out loudly and I am also hiccuping. I haven't even get past the part where the dog is hiding yet. Thanks. I have to say, this post has me laughing harder than anything I have read on Reddit before. Thank you so much. Not that I feel terribly bad for him, but having IBS, I know what it's like. Not to that extent, but it hurts to be that gassy. He did this to himself, though. Best luck on the aftermath of the ass-plosion. In a bar with one other guy, and I'm sat here laughing to myself. Because I know people with gas like your husband, borderline haha, and I am so sorry he has demolished the infrastructure of your home. You can no longer get your deposit back, pensive face. I cried with laughter reading this. I cried even harder reading it to my wife. She knows that oats make me do this. So she sympathizes after I ate porridge made with oat milk so I could play tunes. This made me laugh out loud, but in all honesty, I don't think I could sleep with that man again if I was you. Like I go on holiday and he opts to stay home, gets high all the time, can't feed himself, breaks things and makes the house smell like his asshole on my first day back? Hopefully he realizes how lucky he is to have you. Tags, venting. Hilarious story. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. The absurdity and the humor is like something out of The Simpsons. Classic episodes. You should be a writer. Someone is going to see this and steal it to make a TikTok video featuring a poorly animated version of my Reddit avatar doing jumping jacks inside Chernobyl. You have a gift for funny writing, thanks for the laugh. Sorry, couldn't help but laugh that his farts were scaring the dog into hiding. Lol. I don't think you have to worry about him cheating, even if he wanted to. That's me a couple of weeks after stopping smoking weed. As my ulcerative colitis comes back, the wind is bad and the farts can wake me up. 6 weeks hit and then red in the bowl and back to smoking weed, and it all goes away until the time I wish to remember my dreams again. Jesus Christ. Not only does that man need a colon cleanse, but replace a new stove, fridge shelf, and probably more honeycombs. Honeycombs fucking rule. Have you tried them? I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Thank you. OMG, my stomach, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. My day just improved 10,000%. I just can't stop laughing about the dog hiding under the couch. I know the phrase, getting the ick, is overused, but in this situation it is fitting. I don't think I could ever look at this man the same. It would have to be over. And there was no sign of this before you married him? Oh my God. I'm dying RN. This made me laugh so damn hard. Thank you. I needed this so bad today. How did he survive before you two got together? Did he never make a single meal for himself? Is he truly that incompetent? It'll probably take at least a week or so for all that garbage to get out of his system. You should either send him to a relative you can't stand for a surprise visit, or purchase gas masks for yourself and the dog. He had all his meals cooked by Chef Mike, the microwave. Microwaved, grilled, cheese sandwiches have the same mouthfeel as a greasy kitchen sponge. And the gas finally stopped, now it's the mass exodus of the wax. Deleted. That was the funniest thing I read today. I'm going to sleep. Thanks for that. Props on the vivid storytelling. It's hard to feel bad for you while I'm laughing my ass off, but I do feel for you. RIP. What makes it even funnier is that this story is tagged as venting. More like venting your house out, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. I can't stop laughing. Oh, I would have loved to go back to Korea. I lived there for 2 years. Love that place. Love the people. The culture, the food. Yes, the food. But I can't stop laughing. I have tear of laughter, tears of joy. Your husband is pathetic. He is not a man. How did he trick you into marrying him? Just wanted to say that I enjoyed this so much that I had to read it out loud to my fiancé. Problem was that I was laughing so hard I had tears streaming down my face and never actually finished. Saved for later. You're married to an unruly toddler, tears of joy. Flare tag checks out. I'm laughing so hard, I farted.